Welcome to the Brighter Financial Blueprint podcast, where we will explore retirement and legacy strategies for affluent families and business owners seeking clarity, confidence, and intentional wealth design. I'm Megan Clark, RICP, CEO, Clark Financial Solutions advisory firm, helping families create sustainable retirement strategies. Welcome back to the Brighter Financial Blueprint podcast. My name is Megan Clark. I RICP and CEO of Clark Financial Solutions. Excited to have you here today. Today we're going to talk about a real life example of our blueprint, Brighter Financial Blueprint process, how we developed it with a client, and how it created lots of opportunities for decisions when life happened. We'd been working with this family for over a decade, designing every piece of their retirement income plan. They were on track for a very healthy retirement income plan and leaving a large amount of assets to their children, which was one of their main goals. And as the couple turned 55 and 54, they unfortunately received some news that would shatter most people's worlds. And it did for them a little bit. Parkinson's diagnosis for the husband. With proper planning, we were able to show them that he had the option to stop working. With a Parkinson's diagnosis, he was looking at a much shorter lifespan. Although treatment has gotten extensively improved and better over time, there's still a lot that he had coming up that he wanted to do, spending time with his kids, going on trips, doing things while his body would still allow him, which if he continued to work wouldn't be the case. So building out the blueprint had the foundational work done so that when he brought this information to our team, we were able to build out different scenarios showing him what retiring today would look like and what kind of impact that would have on his family, and modeling that in to show him that it was okay and he could make that decision if he wanted to. So fast forward 5 years now, he's been enjoying 5 years of his retirement, and he's been able to spend quality time with family that he otherwise wouldn't have been able to due to a working schedule, 9 to 5. And he is so eternally grateful for us laying the framework for him to be able to make that decision to live his life now while he can and know that his family is still going to be okay and they'll never run out of money. One of the other pieces of the scenario that we had to build in, because now we are assuming that in addition to him living a shorter life than usual, that he would be leaving behind a widow. And what happens to that situation when a wife is left early by her husband? One really important piece of information that people don't really think about is that when one spouse predeceases the other, now we go from married filing jointly to filing as single or head of household. And so that dramatically impacts the tax plan. And it is something that we need to make sure we take into account when we're looking at building these blueprints out for the client families that we serve. So this is one just real world example of a blueprint at work and how it was able to provide stability and sound guidance in a really tough time for one of our clients. That's a great example of one of the families that we helped with the blueprint. And not to keep telling you guys sad stories, because not every story is sad, but sad things happen. Life is hard. There's lots of twists and turns. And unfortunately, one of the main reasons for early retirement is disability, is medical issues. And a lot of times people say, that's not going to happen to me. But our job as retirement income planners is to plan for all of the what ifs and hope they never happen. So I want to tell you about another story. A family came in, and this was probably 15 years ago now, back when my dad and I were in the office together, and we were talking this family, and they came in, they had ample income, 6 figures in pension income due to, multiple military careers and whatnot. and had amassed a large net worth. And the wife said, I really want to take my family to Europe. I want to take all of the kids, all of the grandkids, and I want to go on a 1-week trip to Europe. And the husband said, no, we can't afford it. It's too expensive. We don't have enough money. I don't want to run out. All of the typical fears that we hear from our client families. And so by working through the Brighter Financial Blueprint process and building out that blueprint for them, we were actually able to show them that, hey, you can afford to take this trip. And not only can you afford to take this trip once, but you could afford to take this trip every single year if you wanted to, from now until you pass away. And so with that, they were able to book a wonderful 2-week family vacation to Europe and take the entire family. And those are memories that they'll never forget. Money is a tool, and at the end of the day, it's what money can do for you, and that's create memories in this instance for that family that the grandparents, the kids, and the grandkids will all never forget. So again, if there's a goal that you want to achieve, but you're not sure how to achieve it, then a lot of times creating this blueprint can help you understand how to get there, if you can get there, and when you can get there. Another wonderful story that we walked clients through is not so much the idea of the vacation planning, but this widowed woman came in and met with us, and she was just lovely. And she said, my kids are doing great. My grandkids are doing great. But my husband and I bought all these investment rental properties, and the way the trusts were written, the properties are stuck 50% in his trust and 50% in my trust. And we're 10 years out now from his death. And I'm just so grateful that he was my husband, but I don't want to continue to have to do my deceased husband's tax return. And so she was working with another advisor at another firm and had brought this up to that person several times, and they weren't able to talk to her. And frankly, it's because they weren't working with an independent. And a lot of times when you're working with advisors that are employees at large companies, they're not necessarily allowed to talk about certain things like estate planning or tax planning. And so this fell into the world of estate planning. So we contacted our estate planning attorney and explained the situation, sent him copies of the trust, and said, is there any way that we can fix this for this client? And he said, sure, these are the steps that we need to take. Total cost of $500, a signed letter from the children, and we were good to go. So the following year, she came in and said, just thank you so much for helping me. It's my first year. I didn't have to do that tax return. And it was just a weight off my shoulder in the walk of grief. And now we can just move forward. So life happens, good, bad, ugly. And if you have this blueprint in place, then it can serve as a wonderful foundation so that you can make the best decisions possible with whatever happens. So that's just a real life case study of the blueprint at work. And I wanted to share a few stories with you all. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I look forward for your listening next time. And please tune in for the next episode. We will be talking about long-term care and insurance and how that works in a retirement portfolio.